your CIGTV News Update, Community News and Weather Forecast, I'm Simon Boxall. Thanks for joining us. UK Minister for the Armed Forces, Mark Lancaster, Governor Martin Roper and Premier Alden McLaughlin today announced a proposal for a Cayman Islands regiment.
And have reached agreement to establish a Cayman Islands Defence Regiment. Now this will be a reserve unit and it will be very much Cayman-led, and we will, the UK will facilitate the setting up of this unit. And I want to just emphasise 2 points. I mean, one, this is a sign of the strong and enduring partnership between the UK and Cayman. And secondly, having a Cayman Islands Defence Regiment will give us an incredible additional capacity in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief in the event of a crisis. And that's what we see initially as the primary purpose of this unit.
We're very excited about the project. We're very excited about being able to work together with Cayman. I know the Premier has some thoughts as well. But this really should, over the next year, start the project, and we hope to have an initial operating capability by this time next year.
We are working on building Cayman's resilience and capacity to deal with these issues, the development of Coast Guard with the acquisition of these helicopters, and now I hope the creation of a reserve regiment which is capable of rendering humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, not just locally but overseas.
The Minister travelled to Grand Cayman this week to meet with the Governor and Premier to discuss first steps in establishing the Cayman Islands Regiment. The officials say the proposal would improve security and disaster management capability here and in the region. Mr. Lancaster also visited and met with officials from Customs and Border Control, the RCIPS, Joint Marine and Air Operations Units, the Red Cross and Cadet Corps, amongst others. A team of UK military and civilian experts from the UK Ministry of Defence and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office plan to deploy to the Cayman Islands before the end of the year to conduct an operational needs assessment. The UK has worked side by side with the Cayman Islands on relief efforts during the response to Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017 and more recently with Hurricane Dorian. The Minister was able to personally thank the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service and the Air Operations Unit for their involvement. Armed Forces Minister Mark Lancaster was also a special guest when the Veterans Association launched their annual Poppy Appeal this morning. The association pinned Governor Martin Roper with the first poppy of the 2019 season. The pinning kicks off a month of fundraising activities that will include the Veterans Gala. Veterans Association members, volunteer fundraisers, and donation bins will be visible throughout the community. This includes a number of bins placed around the Government Administration Building. In other news, Older Persons Month celebration shone a bright spotlight on the talents of seniors from around the island last night. A 2-hour variety show at the Harkwell Theatre last night attracted a sizable crowd. Audience members enjoyed an evening of live performances and light entertainment by their peers. Staged at the Harkwell Theatre, the program included skits, songs, and storytelling. Next up, we look at one of the stories making headlines from the Radio Cayman newsroom. The Brenda Tibbetts Lund 5K and 10K Memorial Walk Run takes place this Sunday at the West Bay Public Beach. The always popular fundraiser is a key part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, organized by the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. Interested members of the public can register online at www.caymanactive.com. To find out more about the activities still to come, persons can visit the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens Facebook page and the LCTG Breast Cancer Awareness Month website, and that's www.lctgbreastcancerawareness.com. In our final segment today, the Cayman Compass chats with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service spokeswoman Jodianne Powery about issues affecting the traffic situation to and from the eastern side of the island. Herself a commuter from the eastern districts, the RCIPS media officer also shares some tips for drivers.
Commuters looking to beat the morning traffic in the eastern districts must set out before the crack of dawn or risk getting caught in long lines. RCIPS media officer Jodianne Powery is one of several commuters who felt the stress of clogged roadways in recent times.
I do, because I am coming from the Eastern Districts. I'm coming from Lawton Town.
For Ms. Powery and many others, the traffic is unavoidable.
I actually cannot leave Savannah until 7 o'clock because my son goes to school in Savannah. So I have to take him to school, and I can't leave him there no later than 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, I am just leaving Savannah Primary every morning.
Ms. Powery says police have narrowed down the traffic woes to 3 main causes.
It's a structural issue, it's a commuting issue, and then there's also some driving issues at play as well.
Officer Powery says the large number of commuters flocking to and from Georgetown at the same time is leading to bottlenecks at several roundabouts. To help prevent the misuse of roundabouts, authorities have blocked off some sections.
A lot of times people do not use the roundabout correctly, and I give you an example. Persons coming from Red Bay Primary should be coming into the inside lane, whilst persons coming from the east-west arterial should be on the outside lane going around, and only the persons that are on the inside lane of the east-west arterial going onto the roundabout should be stopping for the people coming into Red Bay. So that outside lane should be a constant flow.
Police have also launched a coordinated attempt at directing traffic, but Ms. Powery says drivers will have to do their part to help reduce the congestion.
People who don't pay attention in traffic, who are on their cell phone and all that kind of stuff, that cause a constant backup as well.
A new traffic plan has been implemented in the eastern districts. And while the traffic is flowing fairly smoothly, Ms. Powery says she's still receiving complaints from the public. She says the current solutions are temporary, but work is underway to find a more permanent solution. Andrell Harris reporting for the Cayman Compass.
And you can go online to both Radio Cayman and the Cayman Compass for more daily community news headlines. Taking a look now at today's weather forecast for our area from the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, a tropical wave is moving west of our area. Isolated showers with light to moderate northeasterly winds and seas are expected over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving southwest. The Friday evening forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Sounds like good fishing weather. We encourage you to go online to weather.gov.ky for the latest forecast, which can also be found on the Facebook page and on the Weather Radio channel 107.9 FM. And don't forget, you can download the National Weather Service's app, which is CINWS, to have their latest weather information at your fingertips. And that's the latest from us here at CIG Television. To see what's on our programming schedule, you can go online to gis.gov.ky and click on the publications icon at the bottom of the page. If you missed today's news update, log on to our Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm Simon Boxall. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Oh Lord, help us, guide us through everything that we say and do. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen.
The team at the Department of Commerce and Investment is making its mark in the civil service and the community at large. Winning various awards for being the best place to work and other accolades in recent years is something they're proud of and something that sets them apart from the rest.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff that sets DCI apart. It's who we are, it's what we're about. At DCI, we have a specific culture and our values. Our values are respect for others, unity is our strength, and belief in our purpose. And we strongly believe in our values. And we believe in our purpose. Our purpose comes directly from the DG's purpose, which is ensuring that we have created the right environment for everyone, ensuring that we have happy citizens, happy staff, happy all around. And what that does, it creates and it leads to greater productivity. Again, it's all about the team. It's me I see myself as the entrepreneur, which is the manager, director, and I am bringing all the factors of production together. And in this case, we have our resources already. We're going to ensure that all our staff members have all the resources required of them to ensure that they get the work done. So my job is to bring those resources together, bring those expertise together, and ensure that we, as a body, united against all our objectives. This is what separates DCI from everyone else, and including some of our colleagues in the private sector. After an interview is completed and before you sign a contract, I take a one-on-one discussion with the employee. So before you sign the contract and actually get into our department, we have a one-on-one conversation with you, me specifically, telling you what we're about. I explain to you our culture. I explain to you what I expect from you and for you to expect from this department. And I think that is what actually separates us from everyone, is having that one-on-one conversation with our future employees. But outside of that, what I do also is have one-on-one conversation with every single member of staff in terms of a professional development plan for each person. In terms of where you are in DCI right now, where do you want to be, where do you see yourself, whether it's in DCI, whether it's outside DCI, in another government enterprise. But what we strongly believe in is creating leaders for tomorrow. There's a number of things that we do, but the first thing that we ensure that we never take for granted our staff. Even though DCI has won a number of awards and a number of accolades, the Investors in People goal, for example, being one of the top employers in Cayman Islands, we do not ever take anything that we do for granted. So we ensure our employees are number one. We have those one-on-one conversations with our employees to ensure everything is going right. We do a lot of surveys in the department. We do a lot of retreats in the department where we go out and we do a lot of fun activities together, and it's seen as fun, but at the end of the day, it results in a whole team building and work. So what we do, we ensure at every point in time there's a consistent level of performance by making sure our employees know that they are important to us. It's very important to value employees because they are your greatest asset in any organization, especially a service organization. Not valuing your employees would lead to poor performance, would lead to poor customer service. It has that whole domino effect. It leads to extended sick leave, extended vacation days, whereas in DCI, we don't have a lot of those issues, and it's because we actually appreciate and value each person. Everyone's input is taken into consideration, and great ideas are implemented.
22 employees now work with DCI, and most, if not all of them, will agree that working in the department is something they look forward to on a daily basis.
Well, what DCI does is very important to the business community and the economy of the islands, but it's not that. It's that everything I do feels like it's very important to that mission. I don't feel like I'm just coming to work and that's what I get paid for and I leave at 5 o'clock and that's it. It's everything I do, it feels like it's important and it's appreciated. I think we appreciate each other. We try to understand each other. You have a group of people and everyone is different. And I think just understanding that and trying to appreciate each other for their differences, that's definitely, I think, what makes us win and what makes us different. It makes us work, makes us a success. We put our mind to it, anything, whatever it is we do, and we put our mind to it and we work as a team and we know that each person might play a different part, but each part is just as important. I think teamwork is everything. If you have if you have one department and every little unit or division in that department are operating in silos, if something happens in one and we don't know what's happening in the other, and it just ends up, everything just crumbles and it falls apart. And I think that that's why it's important. It doesn't matter if it's a whole department and different groups. We have business licensing and we have enforcement, but communication and being able to work with each other, it's important to make everything work. You know, not just one side, and the success of the department is the point. So teamwork, is the most important.
In the past 5 years, 5 DCI staff have been awarded for being top employees within the civil service, while the department has won the Investment in People Gold Award and a Best Place to Work award in the last 2 years. We decided to ask Shalise Jeffrey what makes DCI so different than anywhere she's worked before.
It's definitely the people I work with. The culture we have is very unique. Not just in any other place that I've compared to any other place that I've worked, but definitely even in government. You hear stories, and sometimes when I come to work and I tell people I'm just happy to come to work, and that's very different. So sometimes when I tell us things that happen or conversations that happen at work, it's just very different, and people are shocked, they're surprised, and they want to know, like, where do you work? So I think that definitely people I work with.
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.
The Esterly Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.